Now I want you to observe, is it happening once in 3 months? Is it happening once in 9 months? It's so uncanny that even in the physical situations happening exactly the same way, depending upon how unaware you are, how destabilized you are, you become available to those cycles. Spiritual process is telling how you can get away from this cycle. The same pattern of things keep happening over a period of time. The same kinds of emotion. This situation we go across the same. How to come out of the pattern in life. It's good to notice that the same patterns are happening. Most people don't even see that. They keep repeating the same cycle in different sceneries, and they think they're okay. It's good at least if you're noticing it. The scenery may change. Life's scenery will change. Some things may have happened to you when you were in school. You may have had the same type of thing that happened to you while you were in college. The scenery was different. The next time it happened to you, you were in a job. Next time it happened to you, you were married. But the same things are happening if you closely observe your life. Suppose you're going somewhere and you saw that there was a meadow. So you were going to this nice place and you looked around as you passed, as if the same town is passing you by when you're on your way somewhere. Then that means you're going in circles. That means you're not going anywhere, isn't it? If you're looking at human life as just a body, yes, the spirit is going somewhere. We know it's going. Your body is going to the grave. Whether it's a full moon or a new moon, whether it's night or day, your body is going. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. As I'm talking to you right now, you're getting closer to the grave physically. If you exist here as a physical entity, that's all that's happening. And if you exist here only as a physical entity, slowly you will see life will be play, then it becomes pleasure, then it becomes so many things. Then our joints start to hurt. Then it gets terrified because it's coming to an end. Physical life. This is a progression. You don't have to go through it to know it. You have enough intelligence to sit here and see it. But our fortune is we're not just physical. We have other dimensions to us. In terms of your mental status, either it could continue to grow or it can go into cycles. In terms of your emotional status, it can continue to grow or it can continue to go into cycles. Other dimensions you may not be aware yet, but even there you can go into cycles. When you say that I notice that my life is going into cycles, you're essentially talking about the situations that's going around you. More so, you're talking about any emotional state going through the same cycles. Some of the ladies may observe this better than the men because our menstrual and emotional cycles are shorter every month at a certain time of the month. At least many of us, we go through a certain level of mental and emotional states. They're repetitive because every month is being repeated. We clearly know it's happening because of our certain physiological situation. It is creating a certain psychological situation. And for men, really don't notice. Unfortunately, they don't have certain cycles because it would be such a strong reminder that they couldn't miss it. You can close your eyes to it and you can go through life the same way without noticing it. But men are blessed because they cannot miss it and they cannot notice because this is happening to them. Men have to be more aware and have to do much more work because they think they may be going somewhere and they're living their life in a cycle, thinking they're going somewhere. Physiologically, there is a strong reminder in the female body. It's not a curse. It is a blessing if you know how to use it. Because any volatile situation, any destabilized situation is a possibility. It's a possibility for change. When there is a certain process, you can't change things so easily. When there is this certain periodic stabilized situation in this system, there is a possibility for change. If you're going through cycles, everything in this system is cyclable, isn't it? The earth is going into cycles. The moon is going into cycles. Everything is cyclable. If you do not stand up with a certain level of awareness and a certain level of determination and a certain level of going somewhere, you will naturally become a part of the cycle. The longest cycle that has been happening here is 144 years. Once every 144 years, certain things happen in our system. The next cycle is 12 and a quarter of years, which all of us see. And others are much shorter, 3-year cycles, 18-month cycles, 16-month cycles. There are all types of cycles. All the cycles depending upon how unaware you are, how destabilized you are, how focused you are, you become available to those cycles. If you're completely scattered, you become aware to the smallest cycles. But little focused, you become available to the longer cycles. But everyone is subject to these cycles. These cycles can mean a bondage, or these cycles can also mean transcendence. That from one cycle of life to another, you transcend or you repeat the same cycle. That depends on who you are. The difference between astrology and spirituality This is an unpopular subject that I'm taking on. Astrology is to tell you how these cycles bind you. Spiritual process is telling you how you can get away from these cycles. We are not denying the cycles. It would be unwise to deny the cycles. The cycles are definitely there, but we are looking at the possibilities as to how you can slip away from these cycles. If you live by the cycles, being conscious of the cycles, your life will have a certain level of success, a certain level of well-being, a certain level of prosperity. If you break the cycle, if you're constantly looking how to become free from the cycle, you are looking for your liberation. Are you looking for just well-being, or are you looking for liberation? That's the question. Accordingly, you must live. So right now, if your life is going into cycles, repetitiveness, repeatedly going to the same city, you understand you're not going to reach anywhere like this. It's time to change the pattern. Now I want you to observe. Is it happening monthly? Is it happening once in 3 months? Is it happening 9 months? Is it happening more into 16 to 18 months? Is it happening 1/4 to every quarter? Is it happening once every 12 years? I want you to notice now. You don't start imagining all kinds of things. But is it happening? Is it just happening whether you are able to notice it or not? Is it not just happening with your mental and emotional situation? If you are conscious, every physical situation around you will repeat themselves. So it's uncanny. It's so uncanny that even physical situations happen exactly the same way. If it's manifesting every 3 months, we can push it to every 10 months. We could try to push it to 18 months. In 18 months, we could try to push it to 3 years. We could try to push it to 12 years. Or we can push it to 144 years. Or, above all, instead of trying to dodge these cycles, we can right our cycles, break our cycles. And every time it comes, my life changes, and it will change dramatically in the next 4 to 6 months. Okay?